Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Israelite Advanced Bible Study night, the 20th of December, 2022. We'll be connecting some dots in the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance tonight. Some major connections. I'm asking everybody to go to our YouTube channel, Prophets of Awakening, and check out the videos on there. The videos will there's a lot of information given, and the videos will lead you to the videos that connect dots for you and bring you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing on the channel, I'm asking you to like, subscribe, and to the channel. It'll be appreciated. Those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. And by that we mean we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. The Tanakh is the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai by the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to our Prophets of Awakening, and welcome to our Advanced Bible Study night. Okay, so with that we'll do our normal, which is a moment of silence, our prayer, Psalms, and then we do some current events, some needs no information. Then we'll our Q&A, and then we'll go into our reading out of the book of Ezra and connect some dots. Okay, this moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance from the lands of our captives. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto Thee. Therefore, we come before Thee at this hour, seeking Thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before Thee as Thy servant David, Solomon, and Samuel, Hezekiah did, that we may walk before Thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. O Lord, allow Thy face to shine upon Thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord, and hide not Thy face from us any longer, for we need You so much at this hour. Peace be unto You. Okay. With that being said, I'll read the Psalms. Okay. 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 Okay, I'm gonna read Psalms 25. It's a prayer for guidance and for protection. Psalm of David. It said, unto Thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in Thee. Let me not be ashamed, and let not thine enemies triumph over me. Yea, let none that wait on Thee be ashamed, and let them be ashamed which transgress without cause. Show me Thy ways, O Lord, and teach me Thy paths. Lead me in the truth, and teach me, for Thou art the God of my salvation. On Thee do I wait all day. Remember, O Lord, Thy tender mercies and Thy loving kindness, for they have been ever of old. Remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. According to Thy mercy, remember Thou me for Thy goodness' sake, O Lord. Good and upright is the Lord. Therefore will He teach sinners in the way. The meek will He guide in judgment, and the meek will He teach His way. All the paths of the Lord are mercy and truth unto such as keep His covenant and His testimony. For Thy name's sake, O Lord, pardon mine iniquity, for it is great. What man is he that feareth the Lord? Him shall He teach in the way that he should choose. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The secrets of the Lord is with them that fear Him, and will show them His covenant. Mine eyes are ever toward the Lord, for He shall pluck my feet off out of the net. Turn Thee unto me, and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. O bring thou me out of my distresses. Look upon mine afflictions and my pain, and forgive all my sins. Consider mine iniquities, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. O keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee. Let the integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. Redeem, O Israel, redeem Israel, O God, O out of all his troubles. So this is Psalms 25. This is a Psalm of David, a prayer for guidance and protection. So the thing about this psalm right here, Psalm 25, it shows you David, because you got so many people that have a problem with David, but you see right here, David was quick to ask for forgiveness, and David wasn't he wasn't lifted up because his interaction with the Lord and his position with Israel, none of that had him puffed up, or he wasn't lifted up. He stayed humble and meek. And so you can see that in starting in verse 14. It says, the secrets of the Lord are with them that fear him. See that? You got so many people that don't fear the Lord, because if you did, you would look at his word and you do what his word say. It says, the secrets of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his coming. So fear is the key. Humbleness and meekness and fear then that's where you get the revelations and discernment. You can't have a puffed up spirit and you was getting revelations from the Most High. Okay, 15. Mine eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he shall pluck my feet out of the net. This David talking. Keep that in mind. Turn thee unto me, and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. O bring me out of my distresses. Look upon my afflictions and my pain, and forgive all my sins. You have so many people, when you shine a light on David and show them that David is the Messiah, they can't comprehend it, because they're seeing some of the things that David did. But we see right here that he acknowledging the sin. That's what we have to do as a nation and individually in order to leave here. He says right here in 18, look upon mine afflictions and my pain, and forgive me all my sins. See that? So over and over again through the Psalms, you see David doing this. I had another one up here. Let me get it right quick. 12. What man is he that feareth the Lord? Him shall he teach in the way that he shall choose. Here you go again, verse 11. This is Psalm 25, verse 11. For thy name's sake, O Lord, pardon mine iniquity, my sin, for it is great. That's what you hear so many people saying. He can't be the Messiah, because he had too much stuff that he did, too much sin that he had going on. But we see right here, David over and over again asked the Lord to pardon him of his sins. So let's look at something right quick before we get out of this. So I'm gonna go to David's last word right quick. 2 Samuel. And see what happened. We see here, just in Psalm 25, he asked him on three different occasions to pardon him of his sins, right? So let's look. 2 Samuel 22. Okay. This right here is when this is when David passed away at the end of his life. I'm Psalm 20, 2 Samuel 22. I'm starting at to show you that I'm starting at 2 Samuel 22 and 4. He said, David says, I will call on the Lord who is worthy to be praised, and so shall I be saved from my enemies. When the waves of death compass me, and floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. Right? So 7, in my distress. So when he found this, when he found that he had left his body, his, he had passed, he says, in my distress, I called upon the Lord. I cried to my God, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of the heavens moved and shook because he was wroth. There went up smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth, devoured coal and kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also. He came down. Darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherubim, and he did fly. And he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness a pavilion round about him, dark waters and thick clouds of sky. And through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. And the Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and discomfited them. Channels of the sea were appeared, the foundations of the world were discovered at his rebuking of the Lord, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. He sent off from above, he took me. It's David talking, the Lord host, when he passed, came and get his soul. He sent me, he sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me, right, from my strong enemies. That's all he's doing all the way through Psalms, asking the Lord to deliver him and clean him up from his sins, right? So he says, he delivered me from my strong enemies and from them that hated me, and for they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my Savior when he passed. These wicked spirits tried to hold him here, right? Drag him down to hell, 20. And he brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. Now here you go. This is the Lord right here answering David's prayer. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness. See that? That's what he asked me. According to my cleanliness of my hands have he recompensed me. He have kept the ways, I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and as for his statutes, I did not depart from them. I was also upright before him, and have kept myself from my iniquity. Therefore, the Lord have recompensed me according to my righteousness and according to my cleanliness in his sight. So the Lord turned around. When you understand what recompense is, David, in the long run, by the time he got to the end of his life, he had learned not to go to the left or to the right. He was living in righteousness. And so when David passed and the Most High came to get him and brought his and delivered his soul, he recompensed righteousness on him. He took away all his sin. So you say, what you talking about? Go one more place and we'll get out of this. You say, what are you talking about? I'm in Zechariah. Notice JC ain't in this nowhere. So I'm in Zechariah chapter 3. This is Joshua. Chapter 3, verse 1. He showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him. So we see the angel of the Lord hosts there on the right side, and Satan it says, and he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing on his right side to resist him. So they ain't just saying this to be saying, it's showing you what's going on. So 2, the Lord said unto Satan, the Lord rebuked thee, O Satan, even the Lord have chosen Jerusalem, rebuke thee. Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire? Now Joshua was clothed with a filthy garment, stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, this the other 6, take away the filthy garment from off him. And unto him he said, behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass away from him, and I will clothe thee with a change of raiment. So the same thing he did with David. Caused David iniquity to pass away from him. Recompense righteousness on him. He's doing the same thing right here with Joshua, the high priest. Causes his iniquity to pass away. Ain't nobody got to get stabbed in the side, or ain't got no vinegar gonna be put in their mouth, none of that. He has the power to cause the sin to be removed. Cleansing. Okay? Any questions? Okay, no questions. Okay, we go and look at some current events. Okay.
About California putting together a reparations task force and everything that's been coming out in the media about that recently. Well, they're far from the only place that's seeking reparations. Boston, Massachusetts, you can now add them to the list. They are putting together a 5-member task force to explore reparations for their citizens.
So we see now it started out with California, then New York, and then now Boston.
So they did a vote this past Wednesday on unanimously establishing a task force to give the possibility of giving reparations to Black Bostonians. So one of the council members, Julia Niger, I feel incredibly overwhelmed. This is what she said, adding the measure on unanimous passage came as a surprise. To be the lead sponsor of something like this, there's a lot at stake, a lot of coalitions, the administration, council, colleagues, and you have to juggle the needs of everyone, but I'm really happy and proud of the work that we're able to do to lay the groundwork today. So originally, they were trying to put together a 15-member panel, but they are now deciding on 5 members. So it's an independent commission with representatives from pre-selected community organizations occupying 1/3 of the seats, and explicit provisions for payment for commission work. So what passed Wednesday creates a smaller 5-member task force and leaves the issue of payments up to Wu. So Niger said that the changes call for an independent group that can explore the issues of reparations more, so they want to really get into this. And like California, they want more than just money on the table, money in addition to other things. So several amendments in Wednesday's measure highlight a split within Boston's Black community. One side of those who support reparations with a narrowly trained focus on Black descendants, and the other, there are those that support more broadly defined reparations for Black people, including immigrants and descendants of immigrants.
Okay, so we saw that, like I said, it started out in California, then it went to Brooklyn, and then in New York, and now it's in Boston. So you see it spreading. But they had recently said, came to a conclusion in California for the people in the African Americans, descendants of slaves in California was $23,000, right? So check this out.
About reparations is indeed a fascinating story. So they are now talking about people getting $500,000 or even more a piece. And ladies and gentlemen, they just recently had an Oakland City Town Hall meeting, and this is the California Reparations Task Force. And this meeting was just this past Wednesday to discuss reparations and they also address, because there's naysayers, and we know the naysayers are coming, and trust me, they're watching this way harder than we are. So no, you don't let people get in your way. They can have their opinion, and talking about this is divisive. Well, what era in America was it not divisive? Please give us an example, because I have seen nothing but divisions in this land my entire life. So when was it not divisive? Please just tell us what era that was in, where it was all of this racial harmony, everything was fair, everybody was treated the same, and America was just running perfectly. Give us an example of that. If you can't give one, I don't want to hear from you. For real. Go somewhere and sit down. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio from Market Watch.
December 17th, 2022, 11:25 a.m. Eastern Time. Oakland, a clock is ticking for the California Reparations Task Force, which has 6 months until it must submit its final groundbreaking report to lawmakers, and has already tallied a partial estimate of nearly $500,000 that Black descendants of slaves could be owed. The task force's members grappled with big questions this week, such as how much possible monetary reparations should be and who exactly should receive them. And they are already thinking about the future of their work, even though it is far from complete. During 2 days of meeting at Oakland City Hall's council chambers, the task force discussed timeframes of Go to 1-800. Californians that the task force seeks to redress. It also introduced other ideas for non-monetary reparations and how it can educate the public and continue making the case for why reparations are needed. One of the biggest questions the body is facing is how much money would be paid out to descendants of enslaved persons, as the task force has already decided that any monetary reparations will be lineage-based. But the members must settle on hard numbers to include in its final report to the state legislature, which is due June 30th, as well as suggest funding sources. See, California reparations push could give Black residents hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here's what they say they would do with it. Professors.
Okay. Any comments on that? Anybody heard anything about that?
Yes, this is getting very interesting. I don't know if you guys have heard too. Delaware has a task force. Last week, I think they named their task force like 9 members. So this is really getting interesting. Yeah.
It's spreading, and then you notice it's right after midterm. So they got right at a year and a half to get it right, because they already know they ain't gonna get no Black vote if they don't.
Wow.
So they got to do it in enough time for the register. So when it's time for them for the vote for elect the president. Yeah, because they ain't gonna get no black vote. You can believe that. All the tricks over with.
Right, right. All that talking they've been doing, it's time to write the checks
Yeah.
now, get the money going. Yeah.
Over with. They lied to us and we still voted. That's over with. We done already showed the impact of when we do come out and vote. That's how Biden got in. That's how
Right,
Obama got in. So it's over with. They're gonna have to either you're gonna have to get on the pot or either get off the pot. One of the two.
right. Time to go to the next step.
Oh, yeah. We play this right here and then we'll do a little Q&A.
Managed to end 2022 avoiding a deep crisis, but it could still be too early to claim victory, and a dangerous time bomb is inflating in its economy, with many completely unaware of its existence, but its explosion could materialize very soon.
It's another thing, part of it too, right here. They're trying to recharge the economy too, because this thing is tanking. No money being spent. It's Christmas and the holiday season is a flop.
The Federal Reserve, as the central bank of the United States, is the main responsible for the inflation that the country is experiencing and is also primarily responsible for solving it. But someone unexpected has crossed its path: the American consumers, who, despite high inflation and the increase in credit costs, have not reduced their consumption and have made the Federal Reserve measures much less effective than expected. And throughout this year, inflation has surprised everyone by exceeding estimates on multiple occasions. And the Federal Reserve, like any central bank, has at its disposal the increase in interest rates as its main tool to fight inflation. With increases in interest rates, it seeks to get people to save more and consume less, due to the increase in the cost of borrowing money. And in this way, the supply of products and services can match the amount of money available in the economy, and prices can stabilize. But if people continue to consume at the same levels, then the Fed actions will be less effective. And obviously the problem is not that the directors of the Federal Reserve are having a hard time at work. After all, they asked for what is happening.
I think we now understand better how little we understand about
That's not
inflation.
very reassuring.
The problem is that it's not free for consumers to behave this way, and a dangerous time bomb is being created and could set off America's next economic crisis. Because people have avoided reducing their consumption through two ways. The first is by ending their savings, which have reached minimums in the last 17 years, while the savings rate is only 2.3%, the second lowest in the last 6 decades, since the measure began to be reported. And the second is through the use of credit cards, which accumulate the largest debt in the history of the United States, and the average interest rates, which already reached 16.3% and are the highest of the century in this country, have not served to discourage their use. And this ticking time bomb will go off when people are unable to access more credit or end up depleting their savings in the equivalent of widespread bankruptcy for the American consumer.
Yeah, so when you see these understand about these international bankers and Esau and Illuminati and all that, this all this stuff is time. So it's like me looking at it and observing it is after the holidays over with. You know, if you notice 9/11 when it happened, you know, everything happens so conveniently right in the right time. But it's like right after these holidays, I'm looking at some major stuff to start happening, because where it's at right now, it really can't sustain itself anymore. You know, it's cheating. So they're doing everything behind the scenes trying to stabilize it, whatever. But like the Most High said, it's time appointed. Yeah. So I'm gonna say shalom to you people, then we'll go open up for some Q&A. What's up, brother? Shalom. Yeah, so I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody got any questions, comments about anything that they want to talk about? I got something I want to talk about for a minute because, yeah. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? Any comments
No,
or
sir,
questions?
I'm good.
Yeah, so it probably was about maybe a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half, 2 years, and it was a topic that came up on. I think we was in the Bible study or whatever, and some stuff was coming up about the end times and about when David's supposed to be coming back, when he's supposed to come back, and all that. And so my thing was, I was trying to get the point across to some people that was online about how we so many people, when you first get into this, you have no idea of the severity of what these people have done to our scriptures. You know, you really don't. A lot of people don't really understand that, and then so you learn, or at least me, I learned over time. You just you have to ride with certain things for when you're dealing with people, like when classes or whatever. You have to ride. You have to deal with certain things in order for them to get them to a certain place. You have to just some things you can't even really bring up or talk about because it's just gonna bring more confusion when you understand what these people have done, you know. And so, and when I'm saying all that to say this, when you go to what I'm getting ready to deal with right now is um, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. We're gonna look at that, and this is something that been been revealed to me anyway. But some things you gotta leave them leave them on the shelf until the time comes to really talk about them. You know what I'm saying? And then it's not like as if especially dealing with me, it's not as if uh, I know everything. It's just that, like I was saying, for 7 years, I ain't go nowhere. I got called out. I ain't go nowhere. I was constant 24/7 in this book, and any other book that was created or led me to, I got it and gobbled all that up, and that was so much information, and and that's how I ended up on the internet making with a channel because I was looking around at how it's like zombies is out there because people didn't really understand what was really going on. So I started you know a chat room at first, and then I ended up on StreamYard. But anyway, so if you go to Deuteronomy uh, 28, right, and it says 28 and 49. I'm gonna read it. It says, "The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the ends of the earth." Then it says, "As swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand." Right. So we know the breakdown on that. So I'm gonna let this brother break it down for you for a minute, and then we're gonna go back and chop it up some more. But we already know they say that swift as the eagle is swift as the eagle. They say that's America. America's the eagle, right? Let's see what this brother got to say about it. Okay. Okay.
Here, my Kamash Torah. This is the Torah. And gave us these instructions, brothers and sisters, and gave to the children of Israel while right ruling things nature. So I don't try to play with that. I don't try to play with that. I don't take the Torah lightly. Don't try to take that lightly. And I don't try to take it out of context. Don't want to try to do none of that. So, I come here to try to do things, to put things in the right perspective for the Most High Yah. That's a serious thing when we're dealing with the Torah. So anyway, today, brothers, I wanted to present to you, and I showed y'all something last time. I'll just show you something. Now, like I said, I know probably a lot of y'all, and I'm not picking on them, but this is something because they're not the only one that teach this. So I show y'all this flyer. So plenty of y'all probably have seen one of these flyers before. And inside this, y'all see a lot of things here. And I'm gonna pull this page here. Oh, wrong page. I'm gonna pull this one up on the big screen. 1 second. Because we want to dive in this thing today. Talking about, let's get it here, brothers and sisters, where it is. We enlarge it. See, you seen this page. Let me enlarge it. Go in here. Right here. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. And we're going to discuss this thing about this eagle. That's what we want to discuss. The eagle, and do it truly applies to America. And saying this was a prophecy and showing our plight of coming to America on the transatlantic slave trade. Now, let me say for the record again. Let me come up out of this because I need y'all to see me saying it before I do this. Again, I am not going against anything that's saying that we were not as Hebrews or Israelites, we were not on the transatlantic slave trade and none of that. I'm not trying to say we were not on the, well, I said that. We were not there on the transatlantic slave trade. Wasn't no Hebrews or Israelites on that. Hell no, excuse my French. Hell no, I'm not saying that at all. All I'm doing is looking at a lot of this doctrine that we have been getting, a lot of this information that we have been getting, and just looking at this and saying, hold up, man, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right here. Because it's based upon Torah, what the Torah says, and weighing it out, put it on the scale and weighing it out in the balancement and seeing what Torah actually says and what is written from history of Torah and the Tanakh, and then comparing it, doing a comparison analysis to what we are being told by certain people in the community, by certain groups, by certain congregations, and what we are being told. That's all I'm doing. So again, I'm not trying to negate or anything, take away from our Holocaust. We said this, from our Holocaust, which they call the transatlantic slave trade. That's not what I'm doing. I want to make this perfectly damn clear. Excuse my French. And Shabbat Shalom, my brothers and sisters, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to make that perfectly clear. That's not my intent. All I'm doing here is we're looking at doctrine that's being espoused to our people. That's all I'm doing. And I get into some of that a little bit later. But let's jump back into this. Let's go back. Now, this thing here, what we have been shown and people espouse and tell us, this right here, Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. And let's look at this. Y'all see right here, the dollar bill with the eagle on it. And you see it's in circles. And it's pointing here to 49. So somebody is applying something or implementing or indicating something, right? They're indicating something here. Now, what's the significance of this bald eagle on a dollar bill or just the eagle and Deuteronomy 49? And you can see how they try to show, they're showing here from this flyer, they show the pyramids just pointing down to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. But we're going to deal with the eagle today. This is what we want to deal with, the eagle. And I've seen some, several classes and things where people, they represent this. And when they see the word eagle, they say, I guess they're applying this has to do with America. But let me go back out right fast because they show you something else too on here. See right here, they show you like Greece. They're saying that the eagle. And when you look this up about Greece and the eagle, you'll see Greece kind of like was a representation and things like this of what's that damn pagan and their Greek mythology, Zeus. Yeah, Zeus. And then you see Romans, you know, they're showing, according to here, they have the eagle. Yes, then on a coin of America, they have the eagle. But not only these nations have the dealing with the eagle. You can look it up, brothers and sisters. You had the Byzantine Empire. Hell, you had something I've seen earlier, something about Baghdad. There were several nations. That dealt with the symbology of the eagle. Not just these nations. There are a lot of people we went into captivity under. Not just these nations, but there were several other nations that dealt with this eagle thing. But what we want to do is get clarity on this, because we're being told this and showing this, like this is indicating right here that this is a prophecy that we will be coming to into slavery here in America. Let's get into it, brothers and sisters. Let's get into it. We enough said. Let's get into it. So Deuteronomy 28 and 49 right here says that Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far. Now this King James, y'all already know this King James. Y'all know I have to show y'all a different version, my brothers and sisters. You know me. You know, Brother Ari, y'all. I have to show y'all different versions and things of this nature when I do presentations. So I want to make sure we do that too. I got to get my e-sword up and running. Oh, stop that. Let me get my e-sword up and running. So, I should have did this earlier. Okay, let me just knock that down in the background. Bam. Okay. Bam. Okay, there we go. Okay, now let's go back. It says, Yahweh will bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, here we go, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. But the point here is, said Yahweh, or the Most High Yah, will bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle fly. Now tonight, I must just say this, brothers and sisters. I'm not going to even, I want y'all to figure this one out. I'm not going to even tell you what's being applied today. All I really want to do is just present something, and I want y'all to make your own decisions. That's it. I'm not going to even tell y'all if it's yay or nay, if this is wrong or if it's right. I'm just going to present this, and I want to let you make your own decision. That's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to present it and let you make your own decision. Is this really talking about America, or is this something else? Is this symbolically speaking? Right? I'm going to show you. We're going to get into this tonight, though. I'm going to let you make your own mind up. That's all I'm going to do tonight. Now, it says, as swift as the eagle fly. Now, I don't really know how, just my opinion, when I see this as swift as the eagle fly, you know how fast, an eagle, right? An eagle can be up there in the sky, and can look down and see a rat or a rabbit, a little rodent, whatever. And man, once they spot that thing high up in the sky, how fast they swoop down. It's interesting I said the word swoop down. I'm going to show you something too on that word swoop down. It's funny how they can swoop down and grab that rodent, that rat or that rabbit. It's so quick from far off in the sky. They far off high in the sky, how quick and swift they can grab us and scoop down and grab their prey. So is this was somewhat this is the word I'm saying, symbolically being implied, and just giving the illustration of how showing how fast and how quick that this nation is said will bring from afar against and from the ends of the earth upon Israel. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look and see, brothers and sisters. Let's take a look and see. Let's see. Maybe I gotta pull something else up. Now where we want to look at? We want to look at something here. I don't have these. Okay, hold up. I got it going. Let's look at this. Okay. Now we'll look at this verse. And now this is blue letter. And this is going into that right there. This is going into Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Now, I should have had this from the beginning. Yeah. Okay, I should have had this at the beginning, Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Okay, there we go, right there. See right here? So I want to show you that's where it's coming from. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. So what it says here, and the Lord shall bring a nations against thee from afar, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagles fly. And you see that strong number 5404. Okay, I'll make sure we go there, which I already had it on there right there. And you, I know I messed up. Okay, let me go back. Make sure y'all get this one. So we're going to click this. This is what we want. So we're going to get that and go to that scripture. Oh, I didn't do what I wanted to do. Let me see, make sure I'm doing this right. There we go. Now it opened up to where I wanted to go. And see now how we go down. We should go on down and read it. And now we get the 54:4 and we see the word the eagle. Swift as the eagle, right? Now we click on this. Right? And now we get this word for Hebrew. In Hebrew, we get the word
Psalms 8, 54:04. Nasher.
Nasher. So we get this word here, right? And we want to see something. Let's slide on down. Slide on down. And we see outline of biblical usage. Outline of biblical usage, right? And let's see here. Outline of biblical. You see the word eagle? You see the word vulture, right? I'm gonna show y'all. You know, give me time. I'm gonna show you something. You see the word eagle, and you see the word vulture. Now, the reason I'm showing you this because there are gonna be several translations, a couple of translations I'm gonna show you that's gonna use the word in their biblical usage, vulture. Instead of eagle, they would use vulture. Yes. So we do see this. And I'm going to hold that because I got some scripture I saw earlier that I want to use too. Now, and let's go here. Let me see. Let's go back to this one because I want to show you. Esau ain't pulling up. Let's see why my Esau ain't pulling up. Don't run quick. No, my brothers and sisters. I'm trying to see why my Esau ain't showing up. Okay, I'm going to sign it. Esau ain't pulling up on here. Okay, maybe I just do it this way. Yes. Hope it's showing, brothers. I have no clue. I can't tell you. Now, we'll go to some different scriptures. I'll show you 49. Now, this is the Cephas Bible. It's going to say, we're going to stay with it. It's going to say eagles fly. My complete Jewish Bible is going to say what? We're going to look at it. Yeshua will bring against you a nation from far away that will swoop down. I said the word swoop down earlier. That will swoop down on you from the ends of the earth like a vulture. Like a vulture. Now, remember not too long ago, we looked up those biblical uses and they had the word eagle, and they had the word vulture. So I guess you can use either one for that word, right?
Another thing about that too is that when you describe clean and unclean animals, the eagle and the vulture is in the same family. So keep that in mind. So like I was saying, it's not saying that the nation gonna have an eagle. It's saying they gonna be like an eagle when he's like what an eagle do when he swoop down, just like when a vulture swoop down. Same thing is that nation is gonna come upon Israel like an eagle. Not that the nation got an eagle for a sign. Anyway, let's keep going. Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
For the word or the definition of the Hebrew word, Mashir. So you can find that eagle or vulture, because even with that, you're going to see in that it said or other. It said eagle. What says other large birds. And I show you that, or other large birds. according to their definition. So some use eagle, some using vulture, right? But anyway, it says a nation whose language you do not understand. Now, so when people are teaching this, they're showing you the word eagle, and they're giving you like the thing, the symbol, the picture I showed, and like here, and they just automatically showing, see, this is America, because they're trying to use this to show you that this is talking about us having our plight coming over here. It's like it's a prophecy that is showing and proving that we are the people who went into slavery, came to America. It's like this was all prophesied, that this is just showing proving, right? Like the Nation Gods and Earth said, it's showing proving. It's us, man. Nobody fit this. This is us. So you see, because it said right there, man, as swift as an eagle's fly. Y'all heard some of these people, man, that teach this stuff. Y'all know what they say. As swift as an eagle's fly. But it's not talking about a nation. Where it just says this nation, whether it actually says who's going to have a symbol or a sign or a logo or whatever as for the eagle. This just talking about, and let's get back to it. Let's get back. I don't want to jump the gun. Let's sit down and let y'all figure it out on your own. But it says, y'all will bring a nation from afar that will swoop down on you from the ends of the earth like a vulture. Okay, let's go. Let's go to another one. Maybe, because I like to give y'all, different versions, like I said, because some of them make it plain and simple, sweet and simple. Sweet and simple, brothers and sisters. Here we go again. And y'all will bring a nation from far away to fight you. Which also says to go against you, come up on you, to fight you. You will not understand their language. Here we go. And they will come quickly like an eagle coming down from the sky. What? Like an eagle coming down from the sky. So what's the difference between this? As swift as the eagle fly. Is that not basically the same thing, brothers and sisters? Even though we see the word terminology changing, is that not the same thing, my brothers and sisters? And you said swift. Just define the word swift. Just look up the word swift. Get the definition of the word swift. It's telling you the same thing. It's just talking about how quick and how fast that they're going to come and overtake thee. That's all it's talking about.
Okay, so you say what I'm doing, what I'm showing you. So I showed you the other day, and all I can do is put the information out there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say advance on here on Tuesday night. Advance. So he just showed you. He said that whoever this nation is gonna come up. We way back in the book of Deuteronomy, right? All these other books ain't came yet when he wrote this. Me in Deuteronomy. So he says he's coming swift as an eagle. So he's gonna be this. It's a nation, but they move and they're gonna swoop down on Israel like a eagle, right? So let's look at Daniel chapter let me get it. Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Nope, not chapter 5. Shit. Let me get it. Yeah, chapter 7. This the four beasts that Daniel saw. Daniel saw these four kingdoms that he talked about in chapter 10. Chapter 10, I think. He saw them in metals. Babylon was gold. The Medes and Persians was iron. His hands was bronze, I think. Then no, Greece was bronze. Rome was iron, and then the Medes and Persians was some metal. But anyway, he saw these four beasts in metals. Then he also saw them in animals, and that's where I want to go. When he saw the animals, right? Let's look at it. Get it. Be patient. These devil trying to work. Okay, let me get it. Yeah, chapter 7. So it says, Yeah, says chapter 7, verse 1. In the year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and the vision in his head was upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the son of the matter. And Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven strove upon the great beast. And the four great beasts, like I say, it's only four beasts. Four great beasts came up from the sea. Notice they came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, right? And he had eagle's wings. And I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked up, and it was lifted up from the earth, and it made it stand upon his feet as a man, and it had a man's head, a man's heart was given unto it. So it got wings, right, like an eagle. But we're gonna check that out. 5, and behold, another beast, second, like a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, arise and devour. Then he go what you got to apply this to. Deuteronomy 49 says, and after that beheld I, lo, I saw a leopard. See that leopard? But look what the leopard got, which had upon his back 4 wings. See that? Swift. That's how the Greeks operated. They came down upon the nations swift. I'm gonna show you that in a minute. So he says, which had upon its back 4 wings of a fowl, and the beast had also 4 heads, and the dominion was given unto it, right? So let me see, yeah. Okay, so we see right here, this leopard got 4 wings on his back, and he got the 4 wings. When you understand how Alexandra operated, we see, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So he says, yeah, I'm in chapter 8. It's the ram and the he-goat. The he-goat is the he-goat is Greece, and it's the leopard. They got the 4 wings. So I'm in chapter 8, verse 5. And as I was considering, behold, the he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and he touched not the ground. See, he touched not the ground because he got 4 wings. He got 4 wings. He moving so fast. He's swift. So he says, and he came, says, and he touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. That's Alexandra. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which he seen standing before the river, and he ran unto him in the fury of his power. So he coming, moving fast, swift, and he ran into the ram, and I saw him come with close unto him, unto the ram, and he moved with clover. There go your speed and your swiftness. He moved with clover. You understand how Alexandra army operated with the phalanxes and all that. They light infantry, they move, they were swift. And he told you the third beast had 4 wings on his back. He a leopard. We know how fast a leopard moves. But his wings touching at the ground, right? So anyway, we see that, all that right there. But here we go. Here go the dagger right here. I'm in chapter 10. Let me see. Yeah, no, not chapter 10. I mean, still in chapter 8, starting at verse 8, chapter 8, verse 18, right? And he says, now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation. For the time appointed, the end shall be. So this one, the Israel as a nation, gonna come to an end. So guess what? Who brought the nation of Israel to an end? This beast right here with the wings that move, with feet touch not the ground, he's swift, right here. So it says, and he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation, for the time appointed, the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having the 2 horns are the kings of the Medes and Persians, and the rough goat is the king of Greece, right? The great horn that's between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in its own power. And in the latter times of their kingdom, when the transgressors have come through a fool, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. This Antiochus, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully. He shall prosper, practice, and destroy the mighty and the holy people. So here we go. We see the wings like an eagle, swooping down like an eagle, is the Greeks. And not only that, we see right here, they destroy the holy people. It wasn't the Romans. So, like I said before, somebody just coming into this, I can't show them this. I can't show them this. You know what I'm saying? I can't show them this. So what I'm showing, and the reason I'm showing you this, I'm showing you how they discombobulate our scriptures. So you look at this right here, then you go to, like I said, the same people that did this, they the ones wrote the bill. It said 1619, 400 years that came. They the ones wrote that. The same ones wrote the New Testament. They wrote the bill. They got their own end time that they concocted. They wrote that. And we done jumped on it and we running with it. But like I said before, we ain't gone nowhere. When the time appointed that he gave the prophet back in Egypt, they came out. And when the time appointed in Daniel in 70 years, when the time 70 years came, they was out. We ain't gone nowhere. That's some bullcrap they concocted. But I let it ride. I let it ride because I want you to understand. I want you to get all this other meat first before we can even begin to start trying to talk about this. See what I'm saying? So people don't understand the severity of what they did to our scriptures. That's why the Most High is gonna do what He's gonna do when He come back. Yeah, so they ain't just coming there and they chop the scriptures all up. You see all through the book of Daniel how script you reading verses and all of a sudden the verse just cut off. The whole whatever happened it just get cut off. And Ezra just all of a sudden just the thing get cut off. And so you can't talk about that. Not to somebody just coming in this or you know what I mean. You got to bring people along to get to a certain point. I mean, you got to get rid of JC first. You can't even begin to start trying to deal with this stuff. Or instead of trying to deal with you got to get it in your head who JC is. You got to get this detached from him. And so like I was saying before, it ain't my job. You can, when I break it down, you let it roll off like water on a duck back or whatever you want to do. But I mean, you got to find a way to deliver this. You thinking you in a certain place? You ain't in no certain place. You throw it on the road. So anyway, so like I was saying before, so you say, what are you talking about, bro? So let me go to another place. I'm still in Daniel, and we know what I'm saying. We reading over this stuff. So it says, I'm in Daniel, chapter 10, and chapter 12. And like I said before, it's at least it's a you got Isaiah got 66 chapters in it. It's all everything, all the meat that's what pertaining to us was in Daniel. If Ezra got 66 books, I mean, come on, they done chopped up half all stuff been strolled all over the place. A lot of it is in Revelations. So anyway, so Daniel says in chapter 12, verse 8. First I'm gonna deal with the Lord part of it first. Then I come back and deal with the other part. So Daniel says in Daniel chapter 10, verse 16 through 19, it says, and I kind of showed you some of this before. I don't know if anybody applying it or not, but in verse 16 says, I was telling you about Lord, how you can rightly divide. That the average person don't understand who Lord host is, who Michael is. You got Yah only people that's hollering. They've been disconnected from the New Testament, but they're saying it's Yah. They don't understand that it's way bigger than that. So I'm in verse Daniel 10 and 16, and behold, this is what Daniel talking to. These angels dealing with Daniel. And verse 16 says, and behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men. So that's the same thing came in the fiery furnace. He said he looked, it was 3 men thrown in there, but now you see 4 men. So it's the same thing right here. It's an angel. He says, and behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men, it's an angel, touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth. But look what happened. And I spake, and I said unto him, I said unto him that stood before me, this angel, oh my Lord. Look at that, lowercase. See that? Oh my Lord. Lowercase, Lord. By the vision of my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how then, how can the servant of this my Lord, lowercase, talk with thee, my Lord, lowercase? For as for me, straightway there remain no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Right? So then here go another one come, 18. Then there came again. This another one. It's 3 of them there. Like I said, you start in Daniel chapter 1 when Daniel by the river. There's 3 angels by the river. When you get to chapter 12, there's 3 angels still there. They put these numbers and chapters on here. But it started with 3 angels. 3 angels came in Genesis 18. So it's 3 angels, okay? One just came to him and he's calling him Lord, lowercase. Then 17, 18. Then came again. This is another one. And touched me, one like the similitude of a man, and he strengthened me, right? And said, oh man, greatly beloved, this Gabriel, fear not, peace be unto thee, be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened. And I said, let my Lord, see that? Now this lowercase, speak. Said, let my Lord speak. Daniel said, let my Lord speak. He the Lord, he Daniel master, teacher. So he says, for thou hast strengthened me. Then said he, know thou wherefore I come unto thee, and now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia. So we know the story. But anyway, so these 2 angels, but he said, Lord, my Lord, lowercase. The person that wrote this said lowercase. Now let's go to chapter 12. Chapter 12 of Daniel. And you're going to see that. I'm going to start at verse 1. And so it says, and at that time shall Michael, right, stand up, the great prince, was standing for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even at that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some the everlasting life, and some the shame, the everlasting contempt, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they shall turn many to righteousness as the stars of heaven, forever and ever, right? But thou, O Daniel, shut up the book, right? And seal the book. This is the Old Testament. Janah, seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Then I looked. Here we go. They put all this in there for a reason. Then I looked, and behold, there stood 2, right? We know it's 3 angels. Started in Genesis, Daniel 1. Then I Daniel looked, and behold, there stood the other 2. One on this side of the bank of the river and the other on that side of the bank of the river, right? So it's 2, one on one bank, one on the other bank. We saw that in 1, right? And Ezekiel 1, my bad, says that then 6. And one said to the man, clothed in linen, here go another one, it's 3 of them. And one said to the man, clothed in linen, which is upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders, right? So remember, Israel gonna get started doing the 3rd beast, right? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swore by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, and half time, and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. See that? All these things shall be finished. So that takes us right back to the holy people gonna get destroyed. That's in the Greek kingdom. That's with the leopard with the 4 wings on his back that swooped down. Okay, then 8. Here we go, 8. And he heard. This is the man on the water, verse 8. And I heard, but I understood not. See that? Everybody reading over there. I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, oh my Lord, capital L. See that? Capital L. This ain't Yahweh. This ain't the other 2. We just read in verse 1, Michael's a great prince. That's who we talking to. See that? Capital L. And I heard this a man on the water. And I heard, but I understood not. Then I said, oh my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified. So we know the story. But I'm showing you right here, you know, who gonna see that and understand that. So there go the demon right there. He says, look, capital L. And the other two that came and was conversing with him is Uriel and Gabriel. This is Michael, capital L. And like I said before, you go to Genesis chapter 18, you're gonna see it again. We can go there right quick. I don't want to digress, but you go to Genesis 18, and then it's the same angel right here. Genesis chapter 18, start at verse 1. And the Lord appeared, Lord, capital L, appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre and sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. Right? And 2. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men. Same 3 men. The angels. There's 3 angels over there in Daniel. Two of them is lowercase. One of them is capital L. And so, like I was saying before, they didn't create their own end times. They didn't flip the books all around and create their own end time. Like I said, this bill that came out with in 2019 talking about 400 years. They wrote that bill. Like I said, because they lining up their end times. But like I said before, we ain't gone nowhere. We still here. They saying that the 400 years up, but we still here. Something ain't right. Just like the brother saying, I was talking to some people the other day. The brother was saying about when they was in Babylon, when they was in Egypt, when Moses left, and they ran Moses out of Egypt, and he was in the wilderness talking to the Lord. The Egyptians couldn't leave. The Israelites couldn't leave and go to Israel and come back. They couldn't do that. They was in captivity. Same way in Babylon. Look what we're doing now. We got Negroes running back and forth across over there and all the how the hell we in captivity. Somebody done lied somewhere. We running all over the place, doing all kind of stuff. We ain't in no captivity like what captivity means in Egypt and in Babylon. Somebody lying. Somebody hoodwinked you. So anyway, like I was saying before, we see right here that Daniel said in chapter 12, after they came and talked to him and all that, Daniel said, and notice how they just sidebarred it. Verse 8, 12 and 8. I heard, but I understand not. That didn't get addressed. They didn't get addressed. They just the hook winked and faded on off into something else. Daniel said, I hear you. I see what all the stuff you did, you broke down, but I don't understand it. And then it ain't dealt with you. That's because they didn't sidebar. And that's what we looking for is right here when Daniel said that. He got the answer because we get the answer everywhere else. So they cut it off, sidebar the conversation. He said, I hear what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Gabriel. Michael, I see what y'all saying, but I don't understand it. And we don't see nowhere in the scriptures when the request is made and the man is standing in front of an angel that he don't break it down and give him what the meaning to it and let him know what's happening. But all that's gone. It's somewhere else. You're reading it somewhere else. It in sidebar. And so, like I said before, back in 07, 05, but you can't meet some people and then just when you go right to this, they're gonna be walking around in circles, chewing on their thumb. Okay. Any questions, comments?
I'm just going to say OMG. Great information. I do have a little comment. That's just like, when you are trying to get an understanding of the Old Testament, I know we've said this before and I have said it, you can't start from the back of the book to go to the
Right.
front of the book. Then you
Exactly.
have so many people that want to start in the middle of the book, then go back to the front of the book, not
Right.
understanding that all the books have been thrown off
Right.
from the dictionary they tell you to refer to the book of Enoch, Jasher, Jubilee, the study Bible. That's why there's so many
Right.
editions there. Every
Right.
time they think we're understanding and getting something, they come out with a new edition.
Right.
So when you have someone that is connecting the dots for you and leading you in the right directions, you got to get out your feelings.
Right.
And just,
Exactly.
get that understanding. Yes, understand all the books, every
Yeah.
last one of them have been tampered with.
Right. He said we was going to discontinue us from our heritage. That's what he's talking about. They came in and discontinued us. He allowed the Greeks and the Romans and the Edomites to discontinue us from our heritage. They came in and hook, winked, and flipped the scriptures all around.
Right.
Yeah. And like I said, so like I was saying, when you talk about the Torah, the first 5 books of the Old Testament, I read in Jubilees when the Lord was up, he was 7 angels up there on Mount Sinai with the Lord. We see it was 4 in the cloud when he came in Ezekiel chapter 1. He ain't in the cloud by himself. When that cloud ascended down on top of Mount Sinai, it wasn't just Yahweh in there. The Lord of hosts is in there. So he brought Moses up to par. He tell you that in Jubilees. He brought Moses up to par on what happened before his lifetime. That's how you get the Torah. So all these information is coming from these angels. So in the latter days, he said he's going to return us back to, how you think we're going to get back? These angels going to show us. How you going to find Daniel find David in the scriptures and find out that David the Messiah on a whim? It ain't going to happen when you understand what all these folks have done. These angels in operation, like they was back then when they took Enoch up, they in operation now. And so it's not like like I said, a person as if they know it all. It's not that they know it all. It's Most High is equipping certain people to do certain things and rightly dividing stuff. Like he said, you're not gonna get no revelation from the Most High with no puffed up spirit. He said we just read that he said in the fear of the Lord. First thing is the fear of the Lord. So when you fear the Lord and you got a contrite spirit, that's when you get Most High started giving you revelations, or better yet, he's gonna bring somebody. If you seeking a certain information, he's gonna bring that person to you to give you the information. He got a system. He got a system in place that's been in place. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing different. He says, we just read. He said the old paths. He ain't gonna do nothing no different than he did before. Yeah, so that's how that goes. And like I was saying before, it's certain things that you can't talk about in certain times. It's a time appointed for, because if you got other people that's listening, and then you throw them off down Priam Road because you bringing in a conversation that they're not even really ready for or privy to. So like I was saying before, all this stuff been known, but it's a time and a place, and according to conversation that's going on, and if it's posed to you, then you deal with it. But like I was saying before, let me read this right quick, and it ain't I didn't deal with it, but I didn't show it to people online, but it's on them what they want to deal with it. So I'm in Jasher chapter 75, and I mean it's right there in your face. So let me get it. Okay. Yeah. maybe 25. Let me see. Yeah, maybe 25. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. Go back and look here. Give me a minute. Yeah, 75 of Jasher. And this is pertaining to Genesis chapter 15, the 400 years. You know, and you know, this just things you can, you know, you want to search it out on your own. But it says in Jasher 75, at that time, in the 180th year of the Israelites going down into Egypt, there went forth from Egypt valiant men, 30,000 on foot from the children of Israel. See that? Who were all of the tribe of Joseph, of the children of Ephraim, the sons of Joseph. And then verse 2, they said the period was complete, which the Lord had appointed. Right? We just read over there, Gabriel told Daniel it's appointed time that Israelites gonna come, the nation of Israel gonna come to an end. It's appointed time. Gabriel gave that to Daniel. That appointed time was Antiochus is coming. And Antiochus was gonna bring the nation of Israel to an end, not the Greeks and not the Romans. So here go another appointed time right here. And he says, for they said the period that was completed, which the Lord had appointed to the children of Israel in the times old, which was spoken of by Abraham. That's Genesis 15. So, like I said, this is a concoction of the same people that concocted the New Testament. They didn't concoct this 400 years. And like I say, are you looking at, we ain't gone nowhere. They didn't jump up and say we 400 years is up, 2019. It is 4 years later, we still here. But for the sake of people that's coming into this and to bring them along, we just gonna go along with that 400 years to bring them up to par. But I ain't going for it. But you know, to bring people on the par, not to dump too much on their head. But we see right there, the right of dividing with the Spirit of the Most High, that's a lie from the pits of hell. That's a straight up lie. We ain't going nowhere. So that's their concoction. They did that all over the place. And so it's just like you were saying, I mean, I don't know about nobody else, but you know, I had serious struggles with the JC and with David when the Most High first showed it to me. I mean, then it was revealed. Then once it was revealed, I mean, I'm looking at folks and you know how they looking sideways, so I stopped talking to them until I got it down pat. But you just not gonna, you're not just gonna get that out your system. Just like riding off of what they didn't gave you, riding off of the books they done led you to, or this and that, what they gave you. You still caught up in it. You ain't realizing that you still riding off what he told you. You're not seriously dealing with that. Same thing with people with JC. You ain't gonna just throw no JC away overnight. Cause he been our forefathers were beat with whips. They was beating to them. It's in our DNA, in our blood. So you ain't gonna just throw JC away. You lying from the pits of hell if you say you did. It's a process. It's the same way with dealing with their ideologies. It's a process. You gotta continuously check yourself on what it is that I'm embracing. Yeah, that's how that works. And that's what I'm showing right now. That's chump change right there. That's 101. But you know, it's a time and a place to talk about it, according to who involved in the conversation. Yeah. And like I said, we see that's a lie right there when he said, I mean, you gotta ask yourself, why would they put that in there? That according to what Moses according to what was prophesied, appointed time that was given to Abraham. That means that was already there. Because there's no reason for them to put that in there to try to throw in the cross. So that means that it was already understood from Jump Street what what Abraham was talking about. What was given to Abraham was pertaining to Egypt. We just saw about the eagle. You ain't looking for no eagle. He says the nation was gonna be like an eagle, was gonna come down and swoop down on Israel like an eagle. And then they lied and told you that the Romans, the Israelites was reigned out in the fourth beast, when they was reigned out in the third beast. And it's all they got all the dots right there. And then you got to ask yourself, how in the hell does Negro see that? Who showed it to him? Damn sure it wasn't T.D. Jakes or Creflo Dollar. Okay? And just some. So, I'm gonna leave it right there. Anybody got anything in the comments? Anything they want to bring it up? Shine a light on? Everybody good?
Yes, sir. Great class.
Right. I was going to give my brother on the channel, if we can hold the conversation. My phone number is 337-802-0889. Dialogue, it's all good. Okay. So get a chance, give me a call. I ain't gonna bite. Okay. So everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm gonna stay shalom and get this. Okay. So if you want to research, check that out and research it, and you come up with some questions or whatever, then we can talk about it. Yeah. So I'm gonna say shalom, everybody. Shalom, shalom, and another shalom.